Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. Walaikum assalam, Khadija. Okay, so today we are going to start October-November 2023, paper 1-2. Let's start with question number 1. A solid substance is placed in a flask. Flask is gently heated and the temperature of the substance is recorded at regular time intervals. The diagram shows a graph of a temperature against time of this experiment for this experiment. At which point does the flask contains both solid and liquid? So, as they have told you that a solid is placed, so in this region, we know there is a solid. Very good, Khatija. And we know at this region there is a liquid. So it means this is the boiling point and this is the melting point. So if melting is taking place, then it means here both solid and liquid coexist, both the states. So it's point B. So the correct answer would be B. A, C, and D are considered as wrong. Very good, Zainab. Now, question number 2. Crystal of sodium chloride is dropped into a beaker of a water and the crystal dissolves. Okay. There are 4 stages in this process. The water molecules collide with the ions in the crystal lattice. The ionic bonds in the crystal lattice break. The ions move randomly in all directions until they are evenly spread throughout the solution. The ions continue to move randomly in all directions but remain evenly spread throughout the solution. So, at which stage diffusion is occurring? So, ions move randomly in all direction until they are evenly spread throughout the solution. Ions continue to move randomly in all directions. As this is a liquid, so initially when it gets dissolved, the ions start to move randomly, but it's not a gas. No, A could not be an answer because in A, they are talking about the collision of the crystal lattice and the in point 1. So it does not explain diffusion at all. Point 2 is talking about the breaking of the ionic bonds in the crystal. So it also does not explain the diffusion. So 1 and 2 are incorrect. So it means A and B goes wrong. So we are only left with C and D. Okay. But see, it's a liquid, not a gas. So ion continues to move randomly in all direction, but remain. So that is not correct because initially ions are concentrated at a specific region, and when they move to mix evenly. So they move until they mix evenly, and after that their movement is not to a larger extent. They just slide past each other. So the correct answer is considered as C. So B is also wrong and C is the correct answer. Is this clear to all of you? Now, question number 3. W is ethene, X is air, Y is iodine, Z is brass. Okay, W is ethene, so it's a compound, right? It's a mixture. It's a element. And it's a mixture as well. So if you see X and Z are mixture, so these two are correct if you see. So it means C and A goes wrong. And W is a compound which is over here, which makes B goes wrong as well. And D is the correct answer. Is this understandable to all of you? Yes, very good, Mustafa and Khatija. Now, question number 4. Which statement about the isotopes of bromine is correct? Okay. They are atoms with the same number of electrons and different number of protons. No, protons should be same always. They are the atoms of the same number of neutrons. No, if there are isotopes, then their neutrons should be different. The atom of the same number of protons and the same chemical properties. Yes, isotopes do have a same chemical properties. They are the atoms with the same number of protons and with the same physical properties. So their physical properties are not same. Yes, very good, Khatija. Isotopes do have a same chemical properties, but not physical properties. So C is the correct answer. Now question number 5. Which diagram shows a section of ionic lattice of a sodium chloride? Okay, this is wrong. This is wrong. And this is wrong as well because the signs over here would be wrong. And over here, if you see on adjacent, there are two same kind. So same type of ions. So same type of ion repel each other. Yes, very good. A is the correct answer. Good. Now, question number 6. When dilute hydrochloric acid is added to aqueous lead to nitrate, a white precipitate of lead chloride is formed. Write an ionic equation. So if you see HCl is an aqueous and lead nitrate, as they have mentioned, is also aqueous. So what would we get? Lead chloride, which forms white precipitates, and nitric acid, which could be aqueous. So if you see, this is solid and over here, these are aqueous. So the ionic equation would have two lead ions, two chloride ions, and lead chloride, because these are the ions, lead and chloride ions, whose oxidation number, or whose state is changing. Hydrogen ion, no, sorry, not lead, nitrate ion, and over here, these are going to be cancelled out. So A is wrong, B is wrong, D is wrong, and C is our correct answer. Is this clear to all of you? Now, question number 7. Which law shows a pair of molecules where the MR of compound X is exactly half that of compound Y? Okay, so you have to calculate the MR. So over here, if you see, it's 36 of 3 carbons and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 36 plus 8 gives you 44. CO2 is also 44. So A is not the answer. What they are saying, compound MR of compound X is exactly the half. Okay. So over here, if you see 24, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 29. Is it 64.5? Can anyone confirm? And is it 99.5? So it is not exactly half as well. Now, 2 carbons, 12, 24, 24, and 28, 28 and 2. It's 60. And over here, if you calculate its MR, 36 and 8, 44. So it's not. So see, if you identified all 3 wrong, so it means obviously it is correct. If you count it, it's 44. So it is for sure at 8, you can calculate it. So this is your correct answer. Is this clear to all of you? Okay. Now, question number 8. One volume of gaseous element X2 combines with an equal volume of gaseous hydrogen to form 2 moles of gaseous hydride. What is the formula of the hydride X? So see, they are saying that 1 mole of hydrogen and 1 mole of X2 are combined to form 2 moles of this. So the formula would be HX only, because there are 2 atoms in hydrogen and 2 atoms of X2. and they are saying two volumes, which means double the volume. So one hydrogen is going to bond with one X. So A, C, and D goes wrong, and B is the correct answer. Is this clear to all of you? Question number 9. Yes. See, they are saying, for example, let's suppose you don't know the formula of this one. They are saying one volume of element X2 and with an equal volume of gaseous hydrogen. Okay. So it means, for example, it's 24 decimeter cube, let's suppose. And it is also 24 decimeter cube. And they are saying two volumes of gaseous hydride is formed. So it means 48 decimeter cube is formed. Is this clear, Khatija? Okay. So if I convert it into mole, so I know that 124 decimeter cube is 1 mole and 48 decimeter cube is 2 moles. Is this clear to all of you? So now you have to figure out the formula. Because in C, if you make it C, so if you make this, how many hydrogen is left? So one hydrogen is also formed, and they are saying that 2 molecules of a gaseous hydride is formed. So one hydrogen is left behind. So that's why C goes wrong. And if you consider A is the correct, so H2X, then 1X is left. So again, I am not getting the 2 moles of this one. This makes A wrong as well. Now, in the same way, for example, if I consider D is the formula, so it is H2X2. So am I getting the 2 moles of this? I'm getting only the 1 mole of this, isn't it? So that makes D wrong as well. But if the formula is HX, then obviously I'm getting 2 moles of HX, isn't it? So that makes B correct. Is this clear, Hania, Khatija, and anyone else? If anyone else has any confusion, please ask. Okay. Now question number 9. Which reaction would produce the greatest volume of carbon dioxide at room temperature and pressure? Burning of 1 gram of carbon in excess oxygen. So if C, it's very easy. If I just take the ratio, I know that there is a 12 gram is producing 44 grams of carbon dioxide. So if there is a 1 gram, how much carbon dioxide is produced? Okay, they are asking about the greatest volume. So we can consider it 1 mole as a 24 decimeter cube. So calculate how much volume of carbon dioxide would produce. I took the ratio of mass and volume because mass of the carbon is given and they are asking about the volume of carbon dioxide. So it will give me 2 decimeter cube. Thank you, Zainab. Now, if you see over here, calcium carbonate is to carbon dioxide. So 1 mole of carbon dioxide is forming, which means 24 decimeter cube of carbon dioxide is forming. How much with the 1 mole of calcium carbonate, which whose MR is 100 grams. So 100 gram is producing 24 decimeter cube. So if 10 gram is there, then how much carbon dioxide would produce? So you will calculate this. So 2.4 DMQ. So it means A is wrong because they are asking about the one which produced the greatest volume of the carbon dioxide. Is this clear to all of you? Yes. Now, in this case, if you see, They have given you the mass of sodium carbonate. So the ratio of moles is 1:1. So if 1 mole of carbon dioxide is producing, yeah, you can just take out the moles of carbon dioxide. If you will get the highest mole, that would be the correct answer. So 24 decimeter cube. And sodium carbonate MR is 106. They have given you over here. So if 10 gram is used, then 24 multiplied by 106 divided 24 multiplied by 10 divided by 106. So I'm getting X over here 2.26 decimeter cube. So see, the volume is lesser than option B. So C goes wrong as well. Now, in the last part, it's a copper. No, they have given you the moles of sulfuric acid, right? And concentration. So sulfuric acid is to carbon dioxide. So 1 mole of carbon dioxide is in the equation, which means 24 decimeter cube. And in the equation, there is a 1 mole. So 1 mole is producing 24 decimeter cube. Convert the volume and concentration of sulfuric acid into moles. So 50 multiplied by 1 divided by 1000. So it's 0.05 moles. So 0.05 moles are going to produce multiplied by 24 divided by 1. So it is going to produce 1.2 dm cube. So this is also producing lesser volume, right? So D goes wrong as well. And our correct answer is B. In B, we are getting the largest volume of carbon dioxide. Is this clear to all of you? Now, question number 10. Chrome alum is the common name of for a salt, which has a formula of, okay, in the formula, if you see, there is a chromium potassium sulfate. What is the percentage by mass of chromium in chrome alum? So you have to calculate the mass of chrome alum, MR of chrome alum, and you need a AR of chromium as well. Okay, let's open the periodic table. So chromium is 52, its MR is 52, and potassium's MR is 39. So 52 plus 39 plus sulfate is 96, and there are two sulfates, so 2 times 96. So 2 times 96, 2 times 96, 192, 192 plus 39, 231 plus 52, 283. Can anyone? Yeah. Thank you, Fatija. So 283 would be the MR. Now percentage of chromium, 52 divided by 283 multiplied by 100. 52 divided by 283 multiplied by 100. 18.374. So on 3 significant figures, it would be round off to 18.4. So B is the correct answer. A, C, and D goes wrong. And B is our correct answer. Yes, Rahim, good. Okay. Now question number 11. The equation shows the production of iron by the reduction of iron 3 oxide. Okay, here we got the equation. 80 tons of iron 3 oxide produces 50 tons of iron. What is the percentage yield? Okay, so that is the practical value, right? Now we need a theoretical value. So if I make the ratio Fe2O3 is to Fe. So if you calculate the MR of Fe2O3, look over here. Iron is 56. So oxygen is, we know, 16. So 56 times 2 plus 3 oxygen, which is 48. So it's 160. So there is a 160 grams of iron is producing how many mass of iron? 160 grams of iron 3 oxide is producing 2 moles of iron, and the AR of iron is 56. So 56 times 2 gives you 1112. So that's the ratio we got it. Is this understandable to all of you? Now, if I have a 80 tons then how much iron must be produced? So if I calculate the value, see what I need to do. I have to multiply 80 ton by 112 gram divided by 160 gram. Why I use the unit? So you can easily understand that if these two are in gram and I took this one in ton, so I will get the answer in 10 only, because if you see this gram and this gram would be cancelled out. Now, if you calculate it, it is going to be 80 times 112 is 8,960 divided by 160. So I am getting 56 tons. So that is my theoretical value, right? Theoretical value. And that is practical value. If you recall the formula, practical value divided by theoretical value multiplied by 100. So 50 divided by 56 multiplied by 100. I am getting 89.2. So the correct answer would be D. A, B, and C goes wrong, and D is the correct answer. I hope it's clear to all of you. Now question number 12. Aqueous copper 2 sulfate is electrolyzed using copper electrodes. Okay, it's aqueous. Which rock correctly describes what happens? Mass of anode. If copper electrodes are being used, so at anode oxidizes, and as a result, the copper anode starts to dissolve. So the mass of anode decreases. And decreases is in only one option. So all A, B, and D goes wrong. We don't have to look for the other columns, because from the first column, we have figured out that all three options are wrong. So A, C is the correct answer. Yes, very good, Khatija. Now, question number 13. Hydrogen reacts with chlorine to form hydrogen chloride. The enthalpy change for this reaction can be calculated using bond energies. What is the delta H value for delta H of this reaction? Okay. So if you recall the formula, delta H is equals to bond breaking minus bond making. So these are the one which bond broke, and there the bond is made. And there are 2 moles, so it means hydrogen and chlorine. So we have to times it 2, and this stays 1. So bond breaking is 436, 242. And okay, Khatija and Rahim, let me check. And over here it is 2 times 431. So 8, 7, and 6. And over here 2, 6, 8. So 678 minus 862, it's minus 184. Yeah, so B is the correct answer. C, D, and A goes wrong, and B is our correct answer. Now, question number 14. Nitrogen and oxygen reacts as shown. The enthalpy change for this reaction is positive 66 kilojoule. If 2 moles of nitrogen and 2 moles of oxygen are used, what will be the enthalpy change? Yeah, this is a tricky question. See, in this 1 mole of oxygen is reacting with 2 moles of oxygen, or 1 mole of nitrogen is reacting with 2 moles of oxygen to form 2 moles of nitrogen dioxide. Now have a look. If you have a 2 moles of nitrogen, as they have given you from here, then for 2 moles of nitrogen, according to the balance equation, how many moles of oxygen are required? Okay, they have given you the 2 moles. That is the initial condition, and it's 0. So when the reaction starts and the change occur, how many moles of oxygen is going to be consumed? Only nitrogen is consumed only 1, because the ratio between nitrogen and oxygen is 1:2 for 1 mole of nitrogen, and at the end we will get 1 mole of nitrogen. all of the 2 moles of oxygen are used up, and how many moles of nitrogen is formed? 2 moles of nitrogen is formed. So see, 1 mole of nitrogen stays unreacted, although 2 moles of nitrogen is used, but for 2 moles of nitrogen, we obviously need a 4 moles of oxygen for this. Is this understandable? Okay. Okay, sure, Zainab. So it means that same moles are reacting, and if the same moles are reacting and same number of moles of products are forming, then the enthalpy change would be the same. If, for example, they have mentioned here 2 and they have mentioned over here 4. So see, double the moles of both the reactants are there. So obviously we get the double the product. So the enthalpy change would be the double. But here we just used only double one substance amount double, and the rest of the substance reactant is same. So the amount of both the substance used is exactly the same from the previous one. So we will get the same enthalpy change. So C is the correct answer. Is this clear to all of you? Now, question number 15. Physical changes and chemical changes can occur in substance. Which process describes a chemical change? Covalent bond in methane molecules are broken. Okay, they are just broken. Chemical change is the one where, bonds are broken, we know. So this can be the correct answer. Let's see. Intermolecular forces of attraction between water molecules are broken. So it just shows the state change. So it's incorrect. Ionic bond in sodium chloride lattice is broken. So if ionic bond is broken, then it's still ion. It doesn't change its oxidation number. So we can't say that the reaction occur. The manufacture of brass from copper and zinc. So it's just a mixing of a two metals. So D goes wrong as well. So A is the correct answer. Okay. Now, question number 16. Two methods are used by students to measure the rate of a reaction are the disappearing cross method and loss of mass method. For disappearing cross method, the student measures the time taken. Okay. For the reaction mixture to go cloudy. For loss of mass method, the student measures the loss of mass over a known time interval. The rate of two reactions are investigated. Okay. Warm aqueous silver nitrate is added to a chlorobutane dissolved in ethanol. So see, chlorine is bonded to an organic compound and we are adding silver nitrate. Two products are formed. One is organic compound, which is soluble in ethanol, and the other is silver chloride, which is insoluble in ethanol. So see, silver chloride is formed, which is they are saying insoluble in ethanol. So it means that the mixture would go cloudy. So it means reaction one is a disappearing cross. So A or B could be the correct answer. Is this clear to all of you? And as they have said that the other we use going to loss of mass. So see, in reaction 2, piece of solid carbonate is added to a dilute hydrochloric acid. So gas is formed, loss of mass would occur. So in reaction 2, there is a loss of mass. So A goes wrong as well, and B is the correct answer. Is this clear to all of you? Now question number 17. Hydrogen is used as a reactant both in Haber process and its addition to alkenes. Okay, which row is correct? Catalyst in Haber process is iron, yeah. So C and D is correct. Product of addition of hydrogen to an alkene. Obviously, an alkene when hydrogen is added, alkane is found. Yes, very good, Khatija. So B row goes wrong as well, and A is the correct answer. Now question number 18. Chlorine reacts with the iron two ions. Okay. Which is written about this reaction is correct. Chlorine is oxidized. So see over here, it's 0, it's -1. So it is reduced, not oxidized. A goes wrong. Chloride ions are found by the loss of electron. No, chloride ions are found by the gain of electron from because it is getting the negative charge from the 0. So it means it gained the electron, right? Now, after this, give me a minute. Iron 2 positive is changing into iron 3 positive, which is oxidation. So oxidation is loss of electron reduction is gain of electron, right? Iron 2 positive ions have gained electron. No, they have lost electron because they turn into 3 positive. Fe3 positive ions are formed by the oxidation. Yes, as we have identified that it is formed by the oxidation. So D is the correct answer. Now 19. Which statement is correct? A base will react with the ammonium salt to produce a gas that turns damp blue litmus paper red. No, this is wrong. They would form a gas that till here it's clear, and that gas is ammonia, and ammonia turns damp red litmus blue. So statement A is wrong. Adding a base to an acidic solution will increase the pH of the solution. Yes, acid has a lower pH, base has a higher pH. When we add them, they neutralizes, and on neutralization, the pH would increase. Aqueous sodium hydroxide is not an alkali, but it's an alkali but not a base. No, all alkalis are bases, so C is wrong as well. In a neutralization reaction, a base donates a proton. No, a acid donates a proton, so D goes wrong as well, and B is the correct answer. Now question number 20. Information about three oxides, Q, R, and T is given. Q reacts with dilute sulfuric acid to form salt and water. It means Q is a basic oxide because it is reacting with acid. R reacts with both acids and base to form salt and water. So it means it's an amphoteric, right? T reacts with aqueous sodium hydroxide to form, so it's reacting with a base. So it means it's acidic. So Q is basic and B goes wrong. R is amphoteric, so C goes wrong, and it means D is the correct answer. Is this clear to all of you? Now, question number 21. Which definition of hydrated substance is correct? A hydrated substance is a soluble ionic compound such as barium sulfate. So first thing, barium sulfate is insoluble. Hydrated is the one which has a water of crystallization in it, right? A hydrated substance is an ionic compound that contains no water. No, they do contain water. B goes wrong. A hydrated substance is one that is chemically combined with hydrogen. Not at all. That is also wrong. A hydrated substance is the one that is chemically combined with water. Yes, that it is. So D is the correct answer. Question number 22. A student has 5 reagents. Okay. Dilute hydrochloric acid, dilute sulfuric acid, dilute nitric acid, solid calcium carbonate, solid copper 2 carbonate. How many soluble salts can be prepared from these 5 reagents? Okay. How many soluble salts can be prepared from these 5 reagents? There are 5 reagents, right? So each one can form a soluble salt because hydrochloric acid will form chlorides which are soluble except few. Sulfuric acid would form sulfates which are almost all soluble except few. Nitric acid can form all the salts of nitric acid are soluble. Calcium carbonate, if we use hydrochloric acid, it can form uh, calcium chloride, which is soluble, right? Okay, with these 5 reagents. Okay. So if I react these two, I will get calcium chloride, which is water soluble, right? If I react these two, I will get copper chloride, which is also water soluble. If I react these two, I will get calcium sulfate, which is water insoluble. If, sorry, if I react these two, I will get copper sulfate, which is water soluble. And in the same way, if I react this one, I will get calcium nitrate, which is also water soluble. And if I react these two, I will get copper nitrate, which is also water soluble, right? So only one is the water insoluble. So if you count the water soluble, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A, B, B goes wrong, and C is the correct answer. 5 water soluble salts are found. Okay. Now question number 23. The table shows the number of electrons in one atom of each of the element X, Y, and Z, W, X, Y, and Z. Which statement is correct? Okay. It has a 9, so it means 2 and 7. It has a, if I write the electronic configuration, it's 15. So 2, 8, and 5. It's 19. So 2, 8, 8, and 1. And it's 35. So we usually don't write the electronic configuration for the 35 one, but if you see the 35 electrons, it's a bromine. It's a bromine. Okay. W and Z are in the same group. Yes, because bromine is also in group 7. So that is correct. X is a metal. No, it has a 5 electrons. So metal has 1, 2, or 3 electrons in its valence shell. So B goes wrong. X and Y will form a compound X3Y. No, because Y is a metal. So it's not. And Y is a non-metal. So D goes wrong as well. So A is the correct answer. Now, question number 24. Some properties of elements in group 7 and the reasons for these properties are shown. Which row shows a property and the reason for this property? All elements exist as a diatomic molecule. Each atom has a 7 electrons in their outer shell and can share a pair of electrons. Yes, this can be a possibility. The elements are classified as metals. No, they are not classified as a metals. Iodine displaces bromine. No, iodine would not displace bromine because iodine is below in the periodic table. Then, so this is wrong, but the bromine is more reactive than iodine. That's correct. The boiling point increases as the group is descended. As the group is descended, it becomes harder to break the covalent bond between the atoms. No, that is nothing to do with the boiling point. Yeah, this property is correct, but the explanation is wrong. So only A is considered as the correct answer. 24D is wrong as well. Now, question number 25. Aircraft manufacturer requires a metal. Just give me a minute. Okay. Aircraft manufacturer requires a metal. Number 1 has a relatively low density, is resistant to corrosion. Which property apply to aluminum? Both 1 and 2, right? B, C, and D goes wrong. They has a low density and they resist corrosion as well. Now, question number 26. Which diagram represents an alloy? So I think everyone knows A, B, and C are wrong and D is the correct because alloys are different atoms. So different atoms has a different size. Question number 27. A small piece of metal is added to a large beaker of water. A vigorous reaction occurs. Okay. When the reaction stops, few drops of litmus are added to a solution. What is the metal and which color is the solution after the litmus is added? So if you are observing the vigorous reaction, then obviously it's a calcium metal, not a magnesium, because magnesium does not react with the cold water. Magnesium reacts with the steam. So if calcium reacts with water, what are the products? Calcium hydroxide, which is an alkali, and hydrogen gas. So if it's an alkali, so red to blue would be the color change. So at the end of the solution, at the end of the experiment, the color of the solution would be blue, not red. B goes wrong, and A is the correct answer. Is this understandable to all of you? Now, question number 28. The rusting of iron can be prevented by coating the iron with another material. Which statement explained by coating with zinc is more effective than painting? It is because zinc is above iron, right? So zinc not just prevent when it is coated, but also if from somewhere it's damaged, it do the sacrificial protection because it is more effective. So if the coating is damaged, zinc corrodes instead of iron. Yeah, that is correct. Iron is above zinc. No. Zinc does not react with air. No. Wrong. Zinc forms an end. No, not at all. So B, C, and D are wrong, and A is the correct answer. Now, question number 29. The list shows the position of a metal X in the reactivity series of metals. Okay. Which method could be used to extract the metal X? So if you see metal X, it's below iron and above copper. So above copper, if you recall hydrogen, so it must be metal X over here and then iron. So the one which are above hydrogen, they are used to heat the metal oxide with the carbon. Electrolysis are for the one which are above, is aluminum and above aluminum. So one goes wrong. Heating with metal oxide with copper. No, copper cannot displace metal X because metal is X is above copper. So three goes wrong as well. So only two is left. So if two is left only, so C is the correct answer. Is this clear to all of you? Yes, very good, Rahim. Very good, Fatija. Now, question number 30. Which statement about water is correct? Distillation is used to remove insoluble impurities. No. Distillation is used to remove soluble impurities. So A goes wrong. Water containing impurities turns anhydrous copper to sulfate blue. Yes, if there is a water as an impurity, so it can turn anhydrous copper to sulfate blue. Water containing impurities turns copper to chloride paper blue. No, it will turn copper to chloride paper pink, not blue. So C goes wrong. Water containing impurities boil at 100 degrees Celsius. No, the boiling point would elevate. The boiling point would not 100 if it's not pure. So D goes wrong as well. And B is the correct answer. Now, question number 31. Some compounds that can be used as fertilizers are listed. Okay, ammonium nitrate, potassium phosphate, sodium phosphate. Three of the elements required for the plant growth have the atomic symbols N, P, and K. How many of these three elements are present in each compound? In ammonium nitrate, only nitrogen is present, right? So C and D goes wrong. In potassium nitrate, it's K and N. So this is correct and this is wrong. So A goes wrong and B is the correct answer. Yes, very good. Now, question number 32. Different strategies to reduce the effect of environmental issues have been suggested, which Roy is correct. Reduction in livestock farming, strategy to reduce the effect of acid rain, strategy to reduce the effect of climate change. Yeah, strategy to reduce the effect of planting trees. No, it would not affect, planting trees would not affect the acid rain, right? So A is wrong. Reduction in livestock farming can change the effect climate change using low sulfur fuels. Yeah, because if low sulfur fuels is used, less sulfur dioxide form, so less acid rain would be. So B seems correct. Reduction in use of renewable energy. If you are using renewable energy, then it doesn't have anything to do with the climate change. So C and D goes wrong. A goes wrong as well. And B is the correct answer. Now question number 33. Which statement about organic compounds is correct? Each molecule of propane 1 all has one OH group and each molecule of propane 2 all has two OH group. No, it also has a one OH group. So A is wrong. Octane and decane are in the homologous series with the general formula CnH2 and C. They are coming N and N. So the general formula written is wrong. It must be, the correct one would be CnH2n plus 2. So B goes wrong. The ester butyl butanoate has 8 carbon atoms in each molecule. Yes, butyl butanoate. So but and but, 4 and 4 makes it 8. So it is correct. The structure of the functional group in carboxylic acid is no, it's wrong. It is, we know that C double bond O and C, O and O. And so D goes wrong as well. And the correct answer is C. Is this clear to all of you? Now, question number 34. In fractional distillation of petroleum, different fractions are obtained at the top and bottom of the fractionating column. Which properties does the fraction obtained at the top of the fractionating column have compared with the fraction obtained at the bottom? The one which are at the top does not have high viscosity. They are very less viscous. More viscous means less movement. Has low boiling point. Very good. Okay, if one is go wrong, so well, A and B are incorrect. So if second is correct, then C, there is no second point in D, so D goes wrong as well, which makes C is correct. Is this clear to all of you? And this is, by the way, also wrong. Low volatility. There is a high volatility. Low volatility means high boiling point, and high volatility means low boiling point. So when which are the top have low boiling point. Question number 35. A chlorine atom can replace a hydrogen atom in a molecule of butane to form chlorobutane. How many different structures of chlorobutane can be formed? Okay. So C. There is a one possibility that chlorine substitute the hydrogen from carbon 1, so we get a 1 chlorobutane. And there is a second possibility, then chlorine substitute a hydrogen from second carbon, so it's 2 chlorobutane will form. So for question number 35, B is correct, A, C, and D goes wrong, and B is the correct answer. If I move to another one, it is also becomes second because now we have to start numbering from the left. Two statements are shown. Question number 36. When ethanol is made from glucose by fermentation, each glucose molecule produces 3 molecules of ethanol. No. If you write the equation for the fermentation, C6H12O6 will give you C2H5OH and CO2. So 2 and 2. Yeah. So 2 moles are formed. So this is wrong. One goes wrong, and if one goes wrong, so A and B goes wrong. When ethanoic acid is made from ethanol, the ethanol acts as an oxidizing agent. No, not at all. Ethanol does not act as an oxidizing agent. Acidified potassium magnate is an oxidizing agent. So second statement is also incorrect, not correct. So D is the correct answer. Now, question number 37. Polymer X is an addition polymer. Okay, if it's an addition polymer, so its monomer has a carbon-carbon double bond. See, the monomer used to make X is but1. Okay. Polymer Y is a condensation polymer. The monomer used to make Y are this and this. Which statement about X and Y is correct? The repeat unit of X is, okay, if it's but1, so it is CH2 double bond CH, CH2, CH3. And as I have told you, if you will make it in a different orientation, so it would be like this. So see, the repeat unit of X over here, these two are wrong. And if you see, these two are correct. So A and B goes wrong, C and D are correct. And why is a polyamide? No, if you see O, it's a acid and alcohol, so it's not polyamide, it's a polyester. So C goes wrong and D is the correct answer. Is this clear to all of you? Now question number 38. Which statement is correct? A filtrate is a substance that remains on the filter paper. No, that passes through the filter paper. That doesn't remain on the filter paper. A saturated solution has the maximum amount of solvent dissolved, not solvent, solute dissolved in it. So B goes wrong as well. A solution is a compound produced. No, it's not a compound, it is a mixture. So C goes wrong as well. It means D is the correct answer. A substance that remains in the heated flask after the distillation is called residue. Yes, it is. Now, question number 39. A diagram shows the chromatogram which spot has an RF value of 0.75. So the solvent front is 9. Okay, so we know the RF value is equals to distance traveled by solute divided by distance traveled by solvent, right? So we know the RF value, it is 0.75. We don't know the distance traveled by solute. We know the distance traveled by solute is 9. So X is equals to 0.75 times 9. Can anyone multiply it and tell me the answer? It's 6.75. Thank you, Khadija. So if you see 6.75, this one is below. So C is the correct answer. D, B, and A goes wrong. This one is below, C is below 7, right? So C is the correct answer. Now question number 40. The results of some tests on polluted river water are shown. White precipitates. Okay. If there is a white precipitates, precipitate dissolves to give a colorless solution. So it means that it can be from these two, we can conclude that it is either aluminium or zinc, right? Because calcium's white precipitate would not dissolve and iron show 2 positive shows green precipitate. So B and C goes wrong. Aqueous ammonia white precipitate, no further change. So from here it is confirmed that it is aluminium because with zinc the white precipitate dissolves. So D goes wrong as well, and we are left with only option A. So A is the correct answer. Is this clear to all of you? So we are done with the paper. That is the last paper. Now tomorrow I will be available for your queries, but I will not going to take any class. So practice and just remember for the exam, try to focus and don't be panic. So it's a easy paper, not that difficult. Okay, if any one of you has any query, please ask. Okay, so best of luck for the exam. May Allah give success to all of you. Take care, goodbye, and Allah Hafiz.